All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the STEM Files, where we highlight the best and brightest in science and technology, engineering, and mathematics. We are also the voice of STEM talent and Black culture. Tonight's episode is we're going to be talking about network security. Systems that secure networks are extremely important as they keep our information from getting in the wrong hands. Stay tuned for more after this. All right, once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the STEM Files. We are the voice of STEM talent and Black culture. I'm your host, Tariq Muhammad, aka Tariq Cardiac. I'm a biomedical research scientist with a concentration in cardiovascular pathobiology, which is the study of how diseases form in the heart and blood vessels. I'm typically joined by my co-host, Jabril Muhammad, aka Jabril Engineer. He is a mechanical engineer focusing on materials and developing naval ship fluid systems for the United States Navy. Couldn't be here today, but he's definitely here with us in spirit. Looking forward to tonight's show. Now, tonight's guest has been on the STEM Files twice, uh, two times when we were on Blog Talk Radio. Now he's back again to update us on his journey and his career in network security. Frank Hudson, welcome back, man.
How you doing? How you doing, brother Tyreek? Thanks for having me
Doing good.
again. Thanks for being. Good to be
Absolutely.
here.
Glad to have you back on. So, can you go into who you are, what you do, and how you got started in network security?
Okay. Well, my name is Frank. I'm currently a network administrator for a company right now where I am over 9 different sites. I got started in computers honestly back when I was like 6 years old. I would take my mom's computers and rip them apart and put them back together again. And this back when they had AOL with what's that one dude, that the character Indie Jones. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but it wasn't until my daughter was in the womb that I was like, I got to do something more for myself. I got to make more money. I got to get a career going. So I actually end up signing up for IT information or cybersecurity, and it's really been a passion of mine all my life. But actually having the knowledge and actually having the study tools and the ability to actually go out and to work in my field every day is it's something I really can't describe because it's almost like living a dream every day of my life. I really don't feel like I've worked a day since I started being a network administrator.
Mm. You said something very key. You said you don't feel like you've worked a day. Talk about how important it is to be in a field where that you love and that you don't feel like you're working. Speak on that a little
Man,
bit more.
I remember some days when I was working at fast food, I would look at the clock and would dread when my shift would start. Sometimes I had some jobs that wasn't even that bad, but I would literally be in my bed sometimes, like dreading going to work, or I'll be at work and it seemed like 30 minutes would go by and it felt like 5 hours went by. I would be at work and just staring at the clock, just come on, 5 o'clock, just come on. But now it's actually the exact opposite. I can be at work and I look up and it's already 5 o'clock. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? Time now to me doesn't mean much as it used to because what I'm doing, I'm so in love with it. It's more than just a paycheck for me. I love getting to
Right.
study and read. I love getting to test out new products. I love whenever somebody in my job comes to me with a request. Like, I literally wake up early in the morning, ready to get my day started. Before this job, I probably would lay up to 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. But when I got this job, I get up at 4 in the morning, not because they have any work for me to do, but because I love it.
All right. So it looks like our guest froze up a little bit. It's a little technical issue. Just give us some more time to come back in.
Prayed to Allah that I would get a job
There
like
we go.
this. And so getting to do what I love every single day, it's like breathing. It's like playing video games. It's like having a hobby that I go get money from every day. And so honestly, when I look up, I've been at this job for 6 months now, and it really flew by like as if it was just 2 days because I love what I do every single day.
Mm. Excellent, excellent. So before we continue, I want to go ahead and bust up a few terms. So, what is network security? What is cybersecurity, and why are those things important?
Okay, so network security and cybersecurity are almost interchangeable. But a network is when you have any devices connected to one another. So you can be at home right now and you can have your headset Bluetooth to your phone. That's a network, personal area network, but still it's a network where you got one or two nodes or computers or workstations communicating with each other. So for most people, their home network consists of the router or modem they got from their ISP or their internet service provider, and maybe they have a laptop. Maybe they have an iPad on it. Maybe they have a game system, gaming console. That's considered to be a network because these items are now talking to one another. Cybersecurity deals with actually being on the internet. Now, a network at home that's not on the internet is called an intranet or a private internet, meaning no one outside of your home should have access to your internet. So, an internet is a public internet or a public intranet. And when you're on cybersecurity, when you think of cybersecurity, you think of guarding your data and information while it's traversing across these different routers and switches across the world as our data is traveling literally at the speed of light. Well, while you're on cybersecurity, you have now people who can now see your data or try to steal your data and see it. It's the equivalent of a highway, right?
Hmm.
When as long as your car is in the garage of your home, that's your private home network. It's your car, no one can see it, but it's in your garage. You know, if someone wants to steal it, you would instantly hear it. Someone breaks into your house. But consider the internet like a freeway or a highway. You have all these miles and miles of road, and you got cars carrying people getting to a location. And cybersecurity will be the same as while you're on the highway driving, if kidnappers ran up on your car and took the people inside of it out. That would be hijacking your data or stealing your information. And so cybersecurity is protecting you while you're on the internet, and network security is protecting your network more so physically while you personally have it.
Mm. So the internet, that your own personal, network that you're using, and it's just your whoever you want to be on it. What are some of the main areas in industry where an internet would be used?
Well, actually, everybody uses the internet, from Burger King, McDonald's to my company, and my company is a roofing company. The people I work for now, they build roofs, but yet I built
Mm.
them an intranet. An intranet is used anytime you do not want your information in the clear, or what we call in the clear, meaning it's not encrypted, which means if you're logging on to Bank of America, when you log on, you have to put in a username and a password. That's giving you access to their intranet, because anytime you access a website or a file, what you're really doing is accessing someone else's server. So anytime you go to facebook.com, what you're really doing is you're going to a server, and that server has an address just like your house. So back to the analogy with the freeway, if you're going to someone's house and they live in a gated community, they gotta buzz you in, right? So that's an intranet or a private community of houses. So anytime you got information that you want to protect and you keep, and an internet isn't as complex as it may sound, because the internet is very complex, but an intranet is anytime you got information that you don't want someone else to have. So the information on your phone, right? If you want somebody to get that, you put a lock on your phone, and now I can't access it. That's an intranet, or that's private internet, or that's private interconnected networks or interconnected computers.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now you mentioned that you developed the internet for the company that you work for. What's like the average cost of developing the internet? Like, say if a company came to you and like it was like a like say Google. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna give you an example. Say Google just came to you and was like, we need an internet. Um, Can you go ahead and put together an internet for us? What would be the average cost? Or do you do it based on company, or is it what they want the internet to do?
Well, it comes with pricing comes with very different price sizes depending on what the customer wants. But I know some techs who still charge by the hour, so they might consider putting up an intranet for you. They might think, oh, I charge $50 an hour. That costs me about 100 hours to do. They might charge you 5,000 for that week.
Mm.
So it just depends on how big the network is. Because, like, let's say someone wanted it for their personal house, right? That could be as easy as $300, $400 job. If someone wants it for a small company, and let's say they have about 50 users on it or less, that could easily be a $2,000 job. What it really counts on is when you access a job is how long could it take you, but also what it is that you're doing. Because in my profession, you don't necessarily pay us for the hour. You pay us for the experience and knowledge that we have. Because you could call me with an issue that has taken you 20 hours to try to figure out what's going on, and you call me and I fix it in 2 seconds. Well, most people would think that took you 2 seconds to do. That's only $20. No, it's $1,000. Because they don't take into account all the studying that tech has to do. Because every single week in the cybersecurity field, there's thousands of new viruses developed every single week. So we have to constantly be studying and learning. But the internet is actually very simple. Once you think about the parts, you can get one built for anywhere between $500 to as expensive as $5,000, just depending on how big or how upscale you want it to be.
You said there's 1,000 new viruses developed every week.
Every single week, there are thousands, not just 8,000, but thousands, tens of thousands of new viruses, new worms, new Trojan horses developed and deployed every single week. So every single week, there are new cyber attacks that we have to avail ourselves to keep our clients up to date, to keep their securities guarded and protected to the utmost as we can.
And how are these viruses developed? Like, how do you go about even doing something like that? There's some slight technical issues again. Just gonna wait for it to pass a little bit.
It's with the design to infect. So
Brother
most
Frank, can you repeat that again? Because you kind of froze up. Can you start from the beginning?
yes, viruses are in order for it to work, and then you have to execute it. Except for worms, you have to execute this virus. So let's say, I don't know if you remember this, back in the day, they had P2P servers where they had Kazaa and LimeWire, where we could share files with one another, and we had all these illegal music and all these illegal
Yeah,
movies coming out.
yeah,
Well, if you think of, okay, you gotta download. So let's say I download this new song, this new 50 Cent song. When I click on it to play that song, if it's a virus, it starts to execute at that point. Because a virus needs you to execute it or to run it or to give it permission to run. So it's the same as any other program. The only thing is the developers of this program are trying to find a way to trick you to get on your program, on your computer, instead of just telling you upright, hey, we're a backdoor program. We're gonna key log you. We're gonna get all your passwords. So that's the only difference between a regular program and a virus is that program you know what you're buying. You are looking to get this program. A virus, they snuck it in underneath you, either by saying click here because you want $100 gift card, or click here. Can you believe this picture of you? And if you notice on Facebook, a lot of people they get hacked a lot because they don't know not to click on everything. So
yeah, yeah. And clicking on everything. I see people do it all the time. It's gotten to the point where you should be able to tell what a virus looks like.
exactly,
So
exactly.
what are some of the telltale signs that uh this is a virus? So what are some things that somebody can look for?
Spelling. One of the biggest ways to hack somebody today or give someone a virus is through what's called phishing sites. So let's say you were trying to go to Facebook.com, but in the midst of you typing, you was not paying attention. So where the circles are, you put zeros instead of circles. Well, when you load the site, it shows you Facebook.com. So you don't think to check the URL bar because it looks just like the real thing. So some of the things that I teach people at my job is in emails. When in doubt, never click the link. So let's say you get a message from Facebook that says click here in order to verify your account information. You should be able to go up to the URL bar and just type in facebook.com. And if they really sent you a message when you log in, that message will be there. Same thing for like Indeed. I know when you're job hunting, we get all these weird messages. Hey, click here for a job opportunity to apply. be very careful to read very diligently any link or to just copy it in the URL bar. Because it make you, because what we move so fast today. We want things right now. We want high speed internet right now. They know most of us just click, click, click. So when you're online, when in doubt, put the URL bar in yourself. Don't type the link in the site. Have a good antivirus software, because even sometimes when you think you're downloading from a legitimate site, you're buying a product from a legitimate supplier, they might have a backdoor installed on that as well. So having a good antivirus will stop that. But just notice some little signs. Um, Notice the graphics on the page. Does this page like it's secondhand done, so to speak? Because most
Yeah.
pages today can be done with WebEx or with WordPress, and they look professional, even though you might have just clicked and paste. So some pages they look a little suspicious. Also too, if it's a site where they're asking you for payment information, when you go to the bottom into your credit card, there usually are pictures of symbols letting you know that hey, this page is protected by such and such and such. If it looks like it's grayed out or like it was copy and pasted or the graphics are not top quality, you know it's a fake page. Because when it comes to verifying, like let's say Visa, if they want to put on their page that this is protected by whatever security company, that logo, that emblem is going to be 1080 HP. It's going to be high quality resolution. The pixels won't look pixelated. It won't look like someone just took a gray screen and smoked over it. Quality matters, because when it comes to most companies, they do go for high quality. And when it comes to these hackers, most of them, believe it or not, are 13, 15-year olds sitting on their couch in their mom's house. So the quality of websites they're building aren't necessarily professional looking, if that makes any sense.
So you said as young as 13 years old, sitting on their
Yeah,
mother's couch doing this.
13, 15-year olds. Because when the internet was first developed, the military only created 10,000 IP addresses because they didn't believe there would ever be more than 10,000 people on the internet. Even after the internet blew up back in the day of MySpace and those earlier sites, people still didn't realize what the internet was going to become. So when it comes to using computers, most of us don't think twice about it, or we used to didn't think so, because our grandparents and our parents would tell us, internet's a fad, computers are just a fad. So most of us never learned how to work it. So for most hackers, and this is what 15-year-olds come in, some of them are skilled coders, some are very skilled. But for the most part, hacking is nothing more than gaining unauthorized access to somewhere. So if you're in your home and you leave the door unlocked when you leave, if I walk in it, I didn't necessarily hack you. You left your door unlocked. And that's the way a lot of us are online. We leave our doors unlocked for someone to walk in. So someone who's 15, if they understand HTML or they understand coding just a little bit, if we are not secure with making sure that we're sending our passwords over encrypted lines, this 15-year-old can get it really easy because they have tools you can go buy, like Wireshark, that capture packets literally out of thin air, so to speak. So you literally have 15-year-olds who learn how to code, who create these little viruses, and to them it's fun. To them, they don't know what they're doing. But in some, you do have those who go after big companies, big sites, who go for the big whales, so to speak. But yes, you have 15-year-olds who can hack you, and you don't even know you was hacked.
Wow, wow. So what is some of the motivation behind a hacker and what behind hackers and what they do? Now I know this episode is about cybersecurity, what you do, but I'm trying to get into the mind of somebody that would even want to do that. What are some of their motives, some of their reasons? Like what's the psychology behind all that? Some technical issues, families. Give us a few minutes to get over that.
You hear me now? There you
Yes,
go.
sir. Can you start over? Yeah.
Okay, so yes, sir. So You was asking about the mind of a cyber criminal, and for the most part, like most criminals today in the real world, for money. They're poor. They're hungry. They want money. Most fraud is run cybersecurity, fake credit cards, tax fraud is done on the internet. But the mind of a cybersecurity or a hacker, I would say, just wants to see if they can do it. Sometimes it's a matter of just seeing if I can hack into your network. Because I've been learning, I've been studying, so now I want to see if I'm better than you at it. Um, but most times, if someone's hacking, then they're doing it because they're trying to obtain money in some way. And one of the most brutal forms of malware is ransomware, where hackers take all your data, lock it up, and force you to pay them huge amounts of money to get your data back. And if you're a Fortune 500 company, you can't afford to start over right now. So you need all that back. So, amount of a hacker for me, if I was going to be a hacker, I would say just to see if I could do it, just to see how much I could cause disruption. That's the only thing I could think of is why somebody would want to hack.
Man, that's some crazy stuff. All right, let's get back into righteousness real quick.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
So last year, Instagram, Facebook, well, Facebook because they own Instagram too, completely removed the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's social media accounts,
Yes, sir.
and they just recently took down the NOI YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
So right now the only thing that the Nation of Islam has in terms of online presence is the Believers, us, their own website, noi.org, and I believe um, some of the dignitaries, some those that the student ministers, the ones that we look to for leadership, they have their own Instagram and social media pages. So
Mm-hmm.
talk about how important it is to have your own social media, and also why it was so easy for them to remove that content from their pages, from their systems.
Well, if I can, I'm gonna answer your question kind of backwards. I'm gonna answer
Okay.
the last part first. Why was it so easy for them to remove the minister from social media? Simple, because they knew we would do nothing about it. They knew we wouldn't change our habits. They knew for a day or two we would get a little in our feelings and we would get upset. But imagine what would have happened if Mark Zuckerberg and his team knew the second we remove Minister from our Facebook and Instagram, our stock is gonna plummet because we're gonna lose 100 million users, right?
Mm.
It's the same as watching Colin Kaepernick take a knee, sacrifice his whole entire career in the NFL, sacrifice possibly millions of dollars for black lives and for police brutality. But then the very next day we're still watching football. The very next day we're still trying to train our sons up to go and to play in the NFL to this very day. But we say we support Colin Kaepernick and we say that we love what he did for us. Well, why didn't we stop? Because they know that we don't have unity yet like we say we should. When they took him off, you did not see us say, well, I'm done with Instagram too. I'm logging off. We start going even harder. We start building our brands. We start, trying to get our reviews and our followers up. So it's a matter of how bad do we really want change, or how bad do we really just want to stay comfortable with where we're at in life. When Moses and
Mm.
Aaron led the children of Israel out of Egypt and they was in the desert, they started complaining because of how uncomfortable they were, saying it would have been better for us to stay with Pharaoh because he had food, because we had water, we had houses. And so when you think about the fact they took the bravest black man I have ever known in my life off of social media, and it didn't seem to even hit a dent in their profits, it shows that we're not really as awake yet as we think we are. For the first part, how important it is for us to have our own. Well, the answer is in the question, in the fact that they can remove the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan away from social media. That guiding voice that we all need has now been taken off by our enemy. Not because he said he no longer wants to be on social media, because they took him off. So if we had our own, not only could he still have his account, we could have the truth unfiltered and uncensored on our own sites. On YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook today, they throw you in Facebook jail. They censor your posts. They take you down. If you post something that, oh, it's a work thing. If you post something that they do not agree with, do not want out there, they will take it down. So by having your own, you secure that information now, because information isn't just subvert information, meaning your data package, your IP address. Information is literally what you were trying to communicate to me. And it would be the same as if you're trying to email me, but yet Gmail blocks your emails from coming to me. You have now cut off our communication. And so to me, it's very important, because when you look at the landscape of what's on social media right now, most of it isn't what I would call high quality conversation. Most of it is
Mm.
filled, most of it is vanity, most of it is look at me. And the way the algorithms are built for Instagram and Facebook is designed to promote those who are vain, who are not promoting righteousness, who are not promoting any kind of information whatsoever. Because most people today are finding out about shadow banning, right? Where you have 1 million followers, but you only get 1,000 likes a post, right? Because they're not letting people see your algorithms. But if we were to have our own, we could control the flow of information. We control or stop the truth from being censored, and it would allow people who are honestly looking for the truth to come and find it. Because today, Facebook doesn't require you to show your letter to put an X on your name on your profile, right? So how do you know that brother X is telling you the truth and not just trying to deviate you from the way of righteousness? So to me, it's
Mm.
ultra important, especially today when we consider the fact that people, there are people who are born, who are living today, who have never lived without a Facebook, right? So the way the landscape, the way the world is going with the way people can communicate, I think it's very important for us to have our own, because we see what happens when they decide to do something and we're so dependent on it now, because there are tons of um, there are tons of people who run the business off of Instagram. So I understand that. But what would happen if they decided tomorrow that if you don't teach or if you talk about certain topics on your page, you got to shut it down? So when we see the way social media can create future millionaires, can connect people from all over the world, who can create projects, you see how important it is. But what's even more so important is who controls it and who owns it. That's the most important thing. But when they take the minister down and they don't instantly lose 100 million followers, it's because they know they have embedded us so deeply with the need of it that we will pout for a few days, but we won't get off of it. We'll
Mm.
pout for a few days, but we won't actually make change. And I might get off topic here, but it's just
No, no, you right on topic.
it shows us our mindset when we can sit in our comfortable houses and we can say Instagram is wrong for doing the minister that way. When we can sit here and say NFL is wrong for doing Colin Kaepernick that way, but yet we won't make change ourselves. But we will get upset at LeBron James because he won't take a knee, because he won't sacrifice all that he has going. But yet when we do see somebody bold enough to sacrifice right in front of us, we don't pick up and follow behind them because we know it's a sacrifice coming with it too. But honestly, it's because they guide us by the desires of our heart. And this is a saying from the minister that I kind of adapted a little bit. But he who prescribes you the diameter of your desires prescribes for you the circumference of your activities. Because if I can instill in you a desire to go for jewelry, I know that for the next 5 years, you're going to do all you can to go get some jewelry. If I can put into you the desire to become a movie star from a young age, when you grow up, that's all you're going to be doing. Move to LA to try to become a movie star. So they put in us a desire to boost our own vanity now, because we can see how easy it is to become viral, to become famous, to become famous. So
Right, right.
now So now, when we see them take the ministry out of social media, what we honestly see is not an innocent man being lambasted and crucified in front of us. What we see is oh man, I could possibly lose my chance to make my millions too. So I'm not gonna get off of it, or I'm not gonna stop watching the NFL. So it's just a matter of, do we really know what we want as a people and how important everyday things are to us, like technology, the internet, social media, sports. If it's that important, why don't we own it, Chet? And why are we just trying to only get our name out there? But that's just a thought that I
Mm.
had.
Nah, ownership is key. Ownership is key.
Ownership
I,
is
I
definitely key.
totally agree, brother. All right, so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge some of our audience. We have Ali Dawudel, see you, bro, said peace, gods. We have STEM Media, said facts, brother Frank X.
Yes, sir.
This is actually a question from Scarlett Louise. What inspired you to go into your field?
Honestly, I love computers. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna admit something here on your show. Okay, world
All
exclusive on STEM files. Okay, it's the world exclusive. So I kind of suffer from anxiety a little bit. When I'm around people, I'm very different. Well, I'm different in general, but when I'm around people, I'm very different because I'm confused. I don't understand people yet. I don't understand how we communicate. I don't understand how we work together. But networks, computers, they're just like people, except they're electronic. And let me explain. Computers
right.
have what's called protocols, or the way they communicate, or their language. And if you have a computer and you're trying to send a HTTPS file on port 140 and it goes on port 80, you're going to have a breakdown in communication. So I know if these two computers aren't receiving data, that there's a breakdown, I mean, communication somewhere. So computers actually help me understand people a whole lot more than just interacting with people. And I know that sounds like, what? But you look at your phone right now, and I dare anybody watching this live or recorded, go on your phone right now, go into your Google Stats, and they will have recorded every single place you've been. Even if you didn't personally check it in,
That's right.
go on your Facebook page, and they even have it to where if you go to type of status and delete it before posting it, they still have that saved in archive. But through the use of technology, you get a better view of people's patterns. Therefore, you get a better view of their thinking process. And so I understand people better from computers because we're all trying to convey a message or convey a point. But if I don't convey that point on the right port or right channel, right, it won't be received. So let's say I'm talking to a sister, and this sister, I'm trying to holler, I'm trying to court. If she's not receptive to that because she's at work, then her channel that she receives information on is about work. But let's say she's at a speed dating event, then her channel or port that's open to receive that information now is for dating. Now, if I come to her
Mm,
talking about hospital bills at a speed dating event, she's gonna look at me crazy. So because
right. Wrong
computers
information.
exactly at the wrong time and wrong port. I understand
Hmm.
security protocols that even though you might like somebody, you need to have your firewalls up because they could be carrying a Trojan horse. So then it looks good and appealing, but it's gonna damage you. You know, different security levels. It's like because of computers, I understand people better because I understand that we're all trying to communicate. We're all trying to get a job done, and it's best for us to work together to get that job done. Sometimes you might have different language or different code. You need a converter, you need an interpreter. I might need to go read a book on how to communicate. But computers help me understand that better because in this world, I don't know how many different languages there are, but we gotta learn to communicate. And just like you have a Mac, you have a Windows. Those are two different operating systems, two different baseline codes. But you can make them work together with the proper technology, the proper
Right.
improvements. And so I can improve myself socially with the proper technology and proper tools and understanding on how to get accomplished what it is I'm actually looking for.
Got you. Got you. And we got Scarlett Louise. He says, shout out to Jabril, my big bro from college. Glad you're tuning in, man. I'm glad you're tuning in. All right. So for those who are watching the STEM Files and would like to see more content, definitely follow us on our social media pages, the STEM Files on Facebook, the STEM Files on YouTube, and at the STEM Files on Instagram. This is Tariq Cardiac, typically joined by Jabril Engineer. We are the voice of STEM talent and Black culture Thursdays and Saturdays, usually at 6 p.m. All right. So at this time, we want to go into talking about your business. We're going to go into that. You have Leotech
Yes, sir.
LLC. I understand that's named after your daughter, right?
Yes, sir. It is. It actually is. Yes, sir. Leotech. Her name
Excellent.
is Kamalia. Yes,
Kamalia.
sir.
All right, tell us more about Leotech.
Okay, so Leotech is a information security solutions. Now, I do anything from desktop repair. Your computer has a virus needs to be removed to cracked iPhone screens to securing a network for a company of over 100 people. The premise of it really is just to help improve people's performance on the computers. So if your computer's laggy, if your computer's slow, or if you just need help to buy a new computer and you don't know which one to go get, you don't know what specs that you need for it. If you're an office building and you're trying to improve the internet in your office building, or you're growing and you need more, installation, things like that. That's what I'm here for.
Got you, got you. And what's the journey been like as an entrepreneur, as somebody that's going from learning about what cybersecurity is to now having a business that controls what you know and what you do for others?
Man, it is really overwhelming at times. I will be honest. It took me a long time to get over that fear in my head starting my own company. I can't do this. I'm not that great a communicator. People won't buy from me. Just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go do it. So what I did was I actually bought the logo for my company because I had the name in my head for years. And as soon as I posted the logo, I started getting business. And that's why I love the believers. But
Mm,
it's like you start your business and you start to realize right away that the opportunity has always been there for you. Just how bad are you willing to work? And one of the biggest things about me, I have to admit, I'm a huge gamer, huge video gamer. Since starting my business, I have realized you don't have free time anymore. Because if you really want to become
right.
successful in your business, if you really want to grow it, you really have to work 24/7. You cannot say to yourself, "Oh, I'm going to do that later. I'm going to do that later. I have time," or put it on the back burner because you'll realize it's only you your company's depending on. Like today, I'm on your show and I could have had my sites up, but I've been so busy, kept putting it off. Somebody looked up, they're not ready yet. So it's a matter of understanding it. It's not like working a job where you can clock in and clock out and somebody's to handle your business while you're off. You have to be of the mindset that you're willing to work 24/7 if you even if that means you never have a second of quote unquote free time to watch a movie, to watch TV. And right now I'm single, so there's no like family balance I need to have. Thank God for that. But it is something that I have realized that is going to demand a lot out of you. And don't quit as soon as you start because it's gonna be demanding before you ever even see a dollar. It's gonna be demanding before you see a dollar. So
Hmm.
make sure it's something
Facts.
that you make sure it's something that you do love to do because you don't want to feel like you gotta go to work now. You don't want to feel like you started a company just for money. Start your company for a purpose that you love to do because then the money will come and you won't even realize it. But what you really realize is how happy you are every day. Did you know that most suicides are committed on a Monday? Because most people
Mm,
are petrified of going back to work. So don't start your
wow.
business just for money. Start it because it's something that you're going to be so divulged into. Like you're going to be so like buried in work that you're going to hate it if it's something that you're doing just for money. But I love it. I think about one day being able to present the company to my daughter and give it to her, and tell her, hey, I built you a company with your name on it. And if you like, you can take it over. You can sell it. You can, do whatever you want with it. But
Right, right.
I will be honest. The first day I got my first client, he had an internet issue, and afterward he posted like a little thing on his story about my business. I will be honest. I cried like a baby at that moment when the realization hit me that I'm a business owner. I cried like a baby because it's something that I never actually thought I could actually be. But thanks to the teachings of the most honorable Muhammad, not only are we told to do for self, because people like you and other Muslims who I witness have their own businesses, I know that I can do it. But to be able to the point to where I'm gaining my freedom, that's the biggest thing. You
That's
know,
right.
it's like it's really like understanding seeing yourself on a different plane now. Because now I'm a business owner. I'm thinking to myself, well, I started with just one. So I did start a second one. But the second one is just a store where I sell electronics. So one store fixes electronics, the other business sells electronics. But now I want to see what the sky's like. Now I have a lot more hope for my future. Though my daughter grows up, she won't have to live like I lived as far as starting from scratch. She'll be able to have something to start from, and just really the thought that she will look at me and think that men are something, or there are good men in the world. And one day she can look up and say, "My daddy worked hard so that I could have a springboard to start from." Because I want my future generations to be able to start where I left off and not start where I started from.
Mm, excellent, excellent. Speaking of businesses, the STEM Files is the media arm of a Black-owned research and development company called Original Man Scientific. We help people develop their inventions and innovations, whether it's to patent an invention, develop a prototype, manufacture it, the whole nine. And we also do our own in-house research and development, where we're developing new products, new systems, and just doing a whole bunch of scientific creativity. So if you'd like to learn more about Original Man Scientific, visit us at omanside.com. Once again, that's omanside.com. Now we have a question from our audience. This is once again Scarlett Louise. How many years were you working before you opened your business?
Actually, I've officially been working in my field for 6 months. So officially working in my field for 6 months, but studying and reading since 2014. So 6 years of me studying and reading it. And it's funny because when I first started down this path of cybersecurity and I was studying for my certifications, a brother who works in the tech field, I was talking to him, and at the time I was studying and reading, just trying to hurry up to pass the test. But the brother said, "No, take your time so that you really know what you're doing because you might have your own business one day." So I've been studying for 6 years, but on my job for 6 months. And one of the main reasons
Mm,
what gave me that motivation is because my job, they're so enamored with my skill sets. Within the 6 months, I've already been promoted, given a substantial raise, putting over 9 different sites. In fact, they just called me today asking me if I don't mind going to Dallas, probably tonight or tomorrow, because of an internet
nice.
emergency out there. So when I
Okay.
realized how much they was praising me, I realized, wait a second, if I'm this great, why not be great for myself? So I started, and I'm actually contemplating going to my CEO, and asking him to convert my job from employment to a contract and to hire me as my
Mm.
company. So I'm waiting to do that because that might backfire on me. But yeah, so that's how long I've been in my field for 6 months officially. Now I have been doing other stuff, little side jobs here and there, but to say that I'm officially employed and officially getting paid for what I do, 6 months before I started my own company.
And I'm sure your boss wouldn't mind. You're good at what you do. I would say go at it with confidence, man. Just be like, I have a company. Let's develop a partnership instead of you doing what you do now. So I would definitely say that they would give you a chance on it just off the strength of how
Yeah.
good you are, man. So definitely go for it.
Only reason why I'm
Um,
hesitating because it's Denver and it's the winter, about to be winter time, and I don't know if I want to stay
yeah,
out here during the winter time. that's the
I
only
get it.
that's the only debate. It's the winter time.
I
I
get
don't
it.
think I actually
And,
want to
and,
do the winter time.
and you're originally from Texas, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so you kind of well, that's not too far, but what's it like out there, in the West?
Well, the sun sets at 4:30. It's dark by 5, but the sun still don't come up to 7 in the morning. Um, it's actually really nice weather. I'm not gonna lie, really nice weather. Um, I don't have. I do like the snow. I'm not gonna lie, but it's different than like when you're visiting Detroit, Chicago for Savior's Day and it's snowing and you just visiting, and actually
Yeah.
living in it and gotta ride the bus and have to walk outside in it. But actually, I like Denver a lot. People out here are really nice. The food is actually surprisingly very good out here. Lots of tons of different restaurants to eat from. So I'm actually surprised that it's actually that good. Um, but honestly, if I could be honest with you, the people at my job are really surprising me. They are white or Caucasian, but it's like they think differently and they're more open to the truth. Because the way I talk to them, I give them Islam without them knowing it, without them actually saying where it's come from. And so they always want to sit down and talk to me. Oh, you're so wise. And I think it's just a sign of the time that Allah is
Hmm.
causing everything to seek the truth or to seek new wisdom. But I do like it out here in the sense of I visit, but not. I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to raise family out here. I don't want to be out here for too long. But I'm out here for now.
Got you, got you. All right, cool, cool. So once again, man, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the STEM Files for I think the third time.
Yes,
This has
sir.
been every time I speak to you, I learn something new about network security or just
Fresh
IT
meat.
in general, man. So thank you so much for that. At this time, we're gonna go right into something that's called the STEM File Speed Round, and this is just the segment where we get to know you more outside of what you do. You ready for it?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So, what's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Pray.
Pray. Excellent answer. Excellent answer. Hot or cold?
Hot.
Yeah, because you're from the South, so I would imagine so. All right, cool, cool. All right, walking or jogging?
Jogging. Jogging.
Got you, got you. All right, so favorite pair of shoes of all time?
Jordan. Absolutely.
Any particular generation
Retro.
or style?
Retro 13s.
Retro 13s. Dope, dope. All right. Now, considering that you're in IT, this question could really go either way. iPhone or Android?
iPhone. iPhone. I've been Android for so many years. I'm not gonna lie. When I finally got an iPhone, I fell in love with it. And just in this 6 month period, or just in a 6 month span, I went from having an iPhone 8 to the iPhone XR to the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 12. That's how good they are. When it comes to security, I'll go with an
Mhm.
iPhone any day of the week over Android when it comes to cybersecurity.
Wow, wow. So you're saying the iPhone is built for better security than Android is?
Yes, absolutely. And if anything other than the fact that they write their code to be exclusively compatible with their hardware, as well as Apple doesn't just lay over for the U.S. government to give up information. If you got time, Google that. Any of you guys watching, Google Apple versus the government and how they refuse to just hand over their users' data easily, freely, nilly willy. So when you
Mhm.
combine those two things, Apple all day long.
Wow, wow. Okay. So what's your favorite song of all time?
Wow, Brian McKnight back at one.
Wow, I did not expect that. Brian, I mean, why you say back at one?
That song, it makes me think of somebody. It makes me think of someone, and it's a woman or a sister that I hope Allah blesses me to marry one day. Um,
Hmm.
Even though she told me she's not interested in me, for some reason that didn't stop me from still wanting her. Even though I respect her, I'm not like all in her face. But that song, it makes you think about her, and it gives me hope that maybe one in the future, that would be me and her wedding song.
Got you, got you. You got some light in there, man?
Oh, you know what? I just about the song. Told you the song went down early.
Yeah. There we go.
Yep, there we go. That's way better. No, you
All
should
right,
song
cool,
like
cool. All right, let's see. Worst job you've ever had?
say it one more time.
The worst job you've ever had?
Taco Bell, hands down.
Oh my
Taco Bell.
God,
Taco
that
Bell.
was fast. Oh man, food and beverages. I hated working in food and beverage. I tell you, man, that was like the worst. That I don't even want to go down there. um, if you were stuck on an island for a year and you could only listen to three albums, what would they be?
Oh man. All right. I'm gonna go Al Green. I'm gonna go with who is gonna be hard. Stevie Wonder,
Okay, which albums are you talking about though?
the one that got "I See Us in the Park." That song.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, you're an old head at heart.
oh, I love old school. People don't make it like they used to no more.
Nah, at all, man, at all. I was
Yeah,
just watching the Temptations movie the other day, and I was like, man,
exactly.
this
They
gets
don't.
better every time I watch it.
Exactly. When you listen to old school songs like the new edition and all, like it got flavor. But for my last album,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Journey. I'm gonna say Journey.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So, if you could meet any scientist from the past, who would it be and why?
Ooh.
All right, family. Got some technical issues again. We're gonna go ahead and run on right through it. All right, Frank. Can you repeat that again? I couldn't hear any of that.
Okay. I think the what was the question again?
If you could meet any scientist from the past, who would it be and why?
The scientist of the moon, and find
Of the
out what
moon.
made him so mad that he would blow up the planet because he couldn't make us speak the same dialect. Like, I want to know what was it about that made him so upset because he couldn't make us all speak the same dialect. Like, because sometimes I can kind of understand the frustration of not being able to properly communicate your thoughts and feelings to other people. Um, so I definitely can understand that. I definitely believe that the world will be a better place once we evolve our communication. So, because a part of me can identify with being upset, I want to know what made him so upset, like that he would blow up the planet. Because I want to say a Down syndrome child or a child with mental disorder, if you see them get so frustrated out of nowhere, right, it's because they can't properly communicate themselves. They get so angry, right? So if you touch their toy, you see them just explode and just go what seems to be crazy mad. But it's only because they can't properly communicate to you or to us what they do or don't want. So they just get really frustrated, right? So
Right, right.
it makes me wonder what made him so frustrated just about not getting us all to speak the same dialect.
Mm, man, that's a good answer. I like that. All right. This is the last question. My name is Frank Hudson, and I am.
A very happy black man and thankful to Allah for all his blessings.
That's powerful. A very happy black man. You know how hard that is as a
Yeah,
black man in this world to be just
happy.
happy.
Because people think you're soft because the way people, most people look at it, including us as black people, we look at it as a black man. There's so much hell on us in this world, from the white man, police, jobs, even our own black women to our own black brothers. So the prevailing thought of a black man is that we're just walking around just. So if so people can understand why that man would be mad. But to be a black man to be happy, people think it's because you don't notice everything that's going on. But I beg to differ. I notice everything that's going on plus more. But the world didn't give me my spirit. So I can let the world take it away from me. So for me to be a happy black man to me is a statement of my strength and my belief in God. Because if you ever let go of that happiness, it's because you don't believe in God like you said you do. We look at the problems of the world and think that that should somehow, between us being a toddler to an adult, should drain us of all our happiness, of all our hopes. And so when you don't do it, I think you just soft because you don't see what's going on, and that's why you're not mad. When it's actually the contrary. I'm fighting this world by being a happy black man. That way, people, my generation or the generation after me, or even if I just meet one person, one black person, they say, you know what? I want to be happy like he's happy. Because it's when you let this world afflict your spirit, that's when you're really in trouble. When you let this world make you be something that you're not, and I can't help myself. I'm a man that's completely in love with God. I can't allow myself to be anything other than happy because I think of him too much, and next thing I know, I'm happy and smiling over something else that went on. Um, so I give you an example. One thing I do when I see a beautiful woman, whether she be white, whether she be black, if I catch myself enamored with her physical form, you know what I do instantly? I pray right away because I'm
Mm,
praying for something because I know that God will answer my prayer. I
right.
can't tell you how many times Allah has answered a prayer of mine right in front of me, and sometimes not even for myself. So, for me to be a happy black man is because he's at the center of my joy. He's at the center of all that I do. Like I'm telling you right now, where I'm at in life right now, my career, my job, my new apartment. All of this I just prayed for back in Ramadan earlier this year. I remember doing Ramadan this year as if my life depended on it. Because I wanted this so bad and I wanted to prove to Allah so bad that if He gave it to me, I wouldn't leave Him. And to look up now, 6 months later, and to actually be in a job, and not just the career, but the environment of my office, of my employers, the freedom, the complete environment. I could not thank Allah enough, and I know it's from Him because I couldn't get it when I was in Texas, but now I'm getting offers to go back to Texas. You know what I mean? So it's
Right, right.
just when you have a supreme being like that who constantly answers your prayers, constantly providing, constantly making ways. I'm sorry, you can't put any kind of anything in me to change my demeanor because I've seen Him come through. You ever see one of them racing movies where like a car is going across the train track and the train is almost there and the driver
And
barely
then,
makes it?
right,
That's
barely
how
makes it
my
out.
life
Right.
is. That's how my life goes all day, every day. Sometimes it feels like I'm in the worst predicament situation of my life, and there's no way I would ever get free. 2 seconds later, I'm in a whole different position because Allah He gave me help. So I don't doubt Him anymore, and that undoubtedness, so to speak, it fills me up with joy that every morning I wake up, I got a best friend like Him I can talk to. I can count on. He's already made a way for me. He's already done what I'm about to ask Him to do for me in my prayer. So when I wake up till I go to bed, I'm a happy black man because my ancestors fought for me to be here. My friends fought for me to be here. My mother sacrificed. So what do I look like walking around ungrateful with the whole entire bounty of the earth before my feet? So
Wow, wow. You know what? I appreciate you for pouring your heart out just now. There's a lot of people I'm sure needed to hear that. You
yes,
know,
sir.
so
I'm in love with
yeah,
God. I can't help myself. I really can't. I can't help
gotta
myself.
be.
And this is the first time I ever
Eh,
spoke publicly in such a long time. Like I barely type on Facebook. I've become so content, so happy that I don't need that extra validation. But if anybody out there is afraid to stand up, on their faith or seek God, it won't be easy because God is no punk. So he won't accept a punk. He won't allow you to come to Him just because your heart's hurting or just because you want something. You have to be sincere to actually want Him. And I promise you, once you fall in love with Him, all this other stuff won't even seem as important. Coronavirus won't seem as important. Not that it's not serious, not that it's not real, but you know who has power over it. Being afraid to get fired from your job, man. Once he takes you through so much, it's like a child playing with their father on a couch, and the father says to jump, right? And so the child jumps, and the father catches him. So then the father backs up some more and tells the baby to jump again. It's like that. After you jump so many times on your faith, and He catches you, He provides.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you so much, man. And once again,
Absolutely.
thank you for joining us on the STEM Files again. I believe
Anytime,
this is
man.
our
Anytime, black man.
excellence. I believe this is our 300th episode with the Blog Talk radios and YouTube combined, if I'm not mistaken.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Come
you. I
on,
appreciate
hey
that.
man. I'm so happy to see you still trucking and going, man.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. All right. For those who are watching, once again, this has been the STEM Files. We are the voice of STEM talent and Black culture, not just Black people, Native American, Asian, anybody in the of ethnic background. We definitely want to highlight you on the STEM Files. So this has been Tariq Cardiac, typically joined by a Jabrian engineer. Facebook, the STEM Files, YouTube, the STEM Files, and Instagram, the STEM Files. Frank, is there anything that you want to add before we close out?
No, sir. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate all you do, and I wish you them the best of luck in the future, my brother.
Excellent, excellent. And for those who want to support the STEM Files, go ahead and drop some love in the Cash App, the STEM Files, or you could just go to the link in the description. But once again, Tariq Cardiac, Frank Hudson, this has been another edition of the STEM Files. Peace.